We've reached midweek, so let's take a look at my top 10 FOC comic spec picks for orders due next Monday, June 5th, 2023. I did want to give you a quick reminder I am doing my 1K subscriber giveaway. You can win one of two awesome slabs. I do have my PayPal and my Venmo in the description of the video if you want to support the channel. And without any further ado, let's get started. And starting things off, I just wanted to point a few of these, it's not quite not comic books, but comic book related stuff out to you guys. The first thing is, looks like for $40, we have Marvel Studios Infinity Saga art of Iron Man, and I think that's really cool. And depending on what it's on and stuff, that could definitely be worth $40. I don't think it says, but okay. Also, we have 5 scarier stories for a Dark Knight hardcover. So it says it's more ghostly filled adventures, but it still seems like it's pretty kiddie. So might be something that's pretty fun. $13 for 5 Batman stories, horror stories. So that might be pretty fun. But okay, let's get into number 10. TMNT times Stranger Things number 1. I think this is pretty interesting. It's a crossover. $4. It might be worth it to check out number 1. And moving on to number 9, we have X-Men Before Fall. X-Men Before Fall Sinister for number 1. And this one has the origin of the 4 Mr. Sinister clones. Mr. Sinister is one of my favorite characters, it's one of my favorite villains, let alone I think one of the best characters in all of X-Men. And it's written by Karen Gillan, so you know it's going to be at least a decent story. You never know what Marvel's going to do with their stuff, but it has some promise. So there's number 9. And moving on to number 8 is actually Star Wars number 36, but it's 2 covers. And the one that I think has least spec value is the John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. It's Padme Amidala as Handmaiden, in her Handmaiden disguise, which, little trivia here, when Natalie Portman is in the disguise costume, who is Amidala? And it's Keira Knightley, which is really funny because when I saw Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was either junior high or high school, I was like, is that Natalie Portman? I can't figure out, it looked like Natalie Portman to me, but then it just barely didn't look like her, so it was Keira Knightley. So looks like they did some pretty good casting here when they did that. But anyway, so that's my number 8. And number 7, we have, number 8, also at 36, is the Ordway Classic Trade Dress variant. This is a throwback to what the old, I believe when they were on Dark Horse, Star Wars comics looked like. So, I could be wrong though, that could be Marvel, and then they got on Dark Horse later on, and then, but anyway, yeah, so nothing really story-wise spec, it's just these 2 covers that I think could have some value. But let's move on. I'm sorry. This is number 7. I do have them separately because this one has higher value. That's why I did that. So then 6 is Unstoppable Doom Patrol number 4. And this one actually is the Unstoppable Doom Patrol seem to have a first appearance in all of the new in every book. And this one is the first appearance of Meta Woman. So if you're interested in a DC first appearance, you can get one right there. And before we get into the top 5, I did want to show you some stuff here on Previews World that I think is really awesome. First off, it's the I think the Momo and the Appa plushies are pretty awesome, but that wasn't it. It's these Indiana Jones busts. We got Sean Connery as Dr. Jones Sr., and then you have the Idol in Raiders, and then you have just this one looks like an action figure. Yeah, it's a jumbo figure. But I think this one looks pretty awesome. This one's his Temple of Doom when he's about to cut the bridge. And then there was even some more down here. Look at this one. So this one is super cool. Like, how cool is that? And then just, you know, the standard bust. So that actually is really good. Wow. How much is that? $200? If you love Indiana Jones, that's definitely worth it. But then there's also, like, they have Snoopy, Pac-Man. But I wanted to also show you these pens. They're Harry Potter broom pens. And I think that's pretty cool. So anyways, just a couple things I wanted to show you. They're not really spec worthy, not necessarily comic book related or anything like that. This is where I saw that they had those other books and stuff. But anyways, so let's move on to, we'll continue with the countdown to number 5. And we have Crashdown number 1. This is the book from Comic Tom and Fire Guy Ryan. If you're into Comic Tom, this might be something you want to pick up. Honestly, I don't know what this is going to do on the secondary market. We all know Comic Tom and all that is all about how things do on the secondary market. So you would assume that their book would do well, but you really don't know. I feel like people who want this book are going to buy it. And then it's not really one of those where something's going to come out randomly that's going to cause it to drive up. So, I mean, get it at your own risk. Obviously, get any of these at your own risk. But I feel like 5 is the perfect spot for this because you can't ignore Comic Tom's influence in the comic book community. And even if not so much his influence, but his stature's maybe the wrong word. But he's just a big figure in the comic book industry. He's a staple of the comic book industry, whether you like it or not. So I think it's worth it to put it, and I do have it at number 5 just because I don't know how much spec value it actually has. And let's move on to number 4. We have Captain Marvel, Dark Tempest, number 1. And this is the first appearance of Nada, a cosmic threat. And of course, Nada means nothing in Spanish, so I wonder if it's some type of cosmic threat. It's like maybe a vacuous entity that sucks everything away. I don't know. But anyway, and it also is the reintroduction of Nitro. So there's number 4 and number 3. Oh, I'm sorry. And I did want to show you the Chew variant, which I think is really awesome. Alright, so number 3, we have the Hulk 180 facsimile, which is the first cameo appearance, although some people will argue first appearance, of Wolverine. And that brings us right to number 2, which is Hulk 181, the facsimile, new facsimile. It's not the foil, it's just a standard facsimile, $3.99, might be something worth picking up. Honestly, if you're going to get one of these facsimiles or something to flip or to keep or even grade, and you want a copy, because some of these do pretty well in the secondary market if you can get a 9.8, but I would recommend getting it from Bill over at Economics and Comics, because, and it's not like a shot at my LCS, they can't control the quality, but he makes sure that when you order from him, he tries as hard as he can to get you the best possible books, and then writes the others off as damaged and whatever you need to do there. So that's just my 2 cents on that. It's whatever you want to do is up to you. I know you do have to probably pay shipping, so that might not make it worth it. But if you're looking to spec on something and buy multiple copies, it might be worth it. It's not like you're paying like $10 or whatever in shipping for like one book. If you're getting several books, that might be worth it. Just because you have a higher possibility of getting a higher grade, and then you have also a better possibility of one of those coming out as a 9.8, with which you could probably even make that money back. So anyways, just some for the whole lot, and then you get all those books for free, and anything else you sell is per profit. So that's kind of my thoughts on this stuff when it comes to the spec. Obviously, I'm not doing anything like that because I don't have the money. So don't think, hey, he's doing this, I'm gonna go do that. That's just my how I'm kind of interpreting or feeling about what I would do if I had the money and thought that this was a good investment for me. I don't know how all these facsimiles are gonna do. Again, whatever your hunch is telling you, that's what you're doing. At this point, comic spec is basically a gamble. So that's really what you're doing. So that's why you don't really want to listen to people like me on the internet tell you what to do with your money. It's all up to you. So anyways, let's just get on to number 1, and that is Extreme Venom Verse number 4. And this one actually has 3 first appearances. It has the first appearance of Billy, a manga version of Venom, which is probably this character right here. First appearance of a plant-based symbiote, which is probably here. And first appearance of Venom Noir. These are actually some pretty interesting first appearances relative to the previous ones we've seen, because we all know manga is huge right now, and it's overtaking the comic book industry. So a manga version of Venom could actually be a pretty decent spec. And then also Venom Noir. We all know Spider Noir is kind of doing pretty well in the secondary market, and I think he's even getting his own show or movie. But so those are 2 variants that, compared to the other ones, based on the information that I have seen and just provided you with, those are the ones that I think could do well in the secondary market. But yeah, so okay. Hold on. I must have deleted one. So yeah, the Star Wars were all number 8. And then, I'm sorry guys, I'm not going to redo the whole video. So I know this is probably, if I had a whole team to edit and I had time to redo this, I don't. So, there is one. It was going to be like my number 3 or 4 probably. And I just saw it right here. So, it's not my number 1, but it's, Edge of Spider-Verse number 4. And I'm going to pull that out real quick. So this isn't a huge, it's a first solo story featuring Dream Spider. So this one is an honorable mention, actually, that I forgot to put. I wasn't really going to put this as any of the spec, because I don't know if there's as much spec value at all. So this was going to be one of my my honorable mentions, and that's why. That's right. So, yeah, sorry you got an honorable mention after the number 1, but there you go. Alright everybody, that's going to go ahead and do it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. I am doing my 1K subscriber giveaway in which you can win one of 2 awesome slabs. I do have my PayPal and my Venmo in the description of the video. If you want to support this channel, that would be great. I also have my my Whatnot ID and my eBay if you want to check those out. And you can click a couple videos here that I have. I don't know which ones I'm going to do. I'll probably do the new comic book day for June 7th. And I don't know what else I'll probably do. Some sports cards video. So you can click those 2, one of those, if you want to see more content. But other than that, I'll let you guys go. And thanks for checking out this video. Until the next one. Bye.